Happy New Year, everybody. We have made it. This is the final of my 3 videos that I'm doing on the best of 2023 music, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. This is the final one. This is the top 20 albums and EPs of the year. 2 things I have to mention before we go in. 1, if you haven't seen my other videos, I talked about these same things. But 1, not all of these songs are metal. I like to listen to a variety of music. I listen to kind of everything if it's good. So they're not all going to be metal. And number 2, they're not all going to be from 2023. These are just songs and albums that I have heard in 2023. So I just want to get that away right off the bat, just so all you know what to expect going into this list. All right, let's get into it. Number 20. This goes to a band that I've been following for a little while, and they've kind of blown up recently. They wrote a song that was amazing. I talked about this in my previous video, but this album they kind of wrote based around the reception to that song, and it shows. It's a really solid album. It's really fun. It's a really good listen. This is Aviation's Luminaria. The number 19 slot goes to an album that is interesting. It's a very sort of in-your-face and raw album, and it's kind of all over the place, and my first listen was pretty hectic. I heard it on stream, and I made a video on it, so you guys might be able to tell what I'm talking about. But I listened to this a few more times since then, and it's really growing on me. The emotional moments are hitting, the lyrics are great. I love listening to it. It's got some absolute bangers on this. And of course, the outro is wild. You know what it is by now. This is Boundaries Burying Brightness.
Your brightness is buried! Rebuild. There is no more intoxicating fantasy meant to be extraordinary. A demon, a devil face. A demon, a devil face.
The number 18 slot goes to an artist that I had not heard before this year, I think. Maybe I heard them last year, but I heard this album this year. Either way, I heard this album this year, and even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the first half of it on my first listen, I loved the second half of it. And even the first half I've grown to love a little bit more, even though I still think the second half is way stronger. But it's got some amazing melodies, some amazing riffs. It's a really, really solid metalcore album. This is Thornhill, The Dark Pool. The number 17 slot goes to an artist who was shown to me by one of my voice students. And this voice student has shown me a lot of artists, and she recommended me this artist as sort of like an artist that she wanted to sing. And I don't know, this artist's voice is so unique. And I listened to this album and I really didn't really like it the first time, but I've listened to it more and more, and it's grown on me so much since then. It's a really solid album. There's so many great vocal moments on this album, amazing melodies, really great lyrical content, even if it can be a little bit juvenile at times, but hey, sometimes I like that stuff. This is Maisie Peters, The Good Witch.
Still decoy, still a good witch with her tea, still bitter, still don't play the black keys, still King's Cross and pulling heartbreak out of hats, still argue like my mother and suppress stuff like my dad. I'm on a one-way trip to take over the world. You could have gone, but your head's in the sand. What's a girl gonna do when she's in love with you? But you're just a boy and I'm kinda the man. Loving you is easy, that's why it hurts now. The worst way to love somebody is to watch them love somebody else, and it'll work out now. I can't help thinking that she's got a better body. Has she got a body better than mine? It was Friday nights, it was video gold, oh it was shining lights, it was rock and roll, it was the band. You could take me to Neverland, baby. We could live off of magic and babies.
The number 16 pick goes to veterans of the scene. They've been around for a little while. They've been doing their thing for a little while. They were one of the first artists who I started listening to when I first started getting into metal music. And they have an album that I love so much. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. It's not the one they just put out, but I think it's the album right before this one, if I remember correctly. I think it's been a little while since they dropped their last album. Anyway, this album slaps. It's so good. It's got some bangers on it. Not as good as their last album, but still really, really solid. This is Veil of Maya, Mother. The number 15 slot goes to an EP, actually, from an artist that I have been following for a little while as well. They kind of blew up with their last album and this EP, and I only see great things for them. I loved their last album. I think that was one of my favorite albums the year it came out, which I think was 2021, if I remember correctly. But this EP, still really solid. While not as good as their previous album, a great work from them, musical work. See, I'm like forgetting words to say. But this is Spiritbox, The Fear of Fear.
I've always been ashamed that I wanna fall into a dream with my honor desecrated, blood is jaded. There are stranger things I've learned
The number 14 pick goes to a musical duo who they're wild and wacky, and they're kind of out there, and they're kind of not for everybody, but if they are for you, they will hit. And they've got some bangers on this album, and it's really, really solid, but it's weird. But I love it. This is 100 gecs, 10,000 gecs.
I got lightning in my veins, walk around like Frankenstein. I did science on my face, I'm the dumbest girl alive. I'm going crazy, little tiny Hollywood baby.
Frog on the floor, where did he come from? Nobody knows where he'll go.
You like Billy no cave me, Jimmy got a gun. Jimmy gonna kill me, think I need to run. Jimmy gonna look.
So you'll never really know, no, anything about me. No, you'll never really know, no.
The number 13 slot goes to an artist who I just discovered this year, but I started listening to some of their stuff, and it's really, really good. They are sort of like a Midwest emo pop punk kind of group, but it's so good. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, if you didn't know. I love it. I don't know. Something about it just hits in a way that makes me happy, even though it's like the lyrical content of that kind of music is just kind of depressing all the time. But it's, I don't know, I love listening to it, and it makes me happy. Somehow. I don't know. This goes to Hot Mulligan, Why Would I Watch?
Every path, every variable made so it'll bring me back, me back, me back. Next is if my memories lead to stark regret. Well then why would I watch? For every crater on the moon, there's an empty beer around the room. Only wanna sleep. Could you show me my house? Not shame that I have to look like mom. Disgrace I may be my father's son. You're still too close to me. I swear in life I feel you breathe.
The number 12 slot is another EP, the second of the 2 EPs on this list, and this is obviously EP of the year. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I think it like gave me an out-of-body experience the first time I heard it. I made a video on it a while back. Blew me away. It's just so beautiful. The instrumental work is amazing. The vocals are just they're like light and floaty in such a beautiful way. You know what it is by now. This is Carmanyaca, Ancient Skills. The number 11 pick goes to an instrumental album, you know what it is already, that I listened to and I was just kind of overwhelmed by how much there was. But the more that I've listened to it since then, it's grown on me. And I'll put it on in the background and game and just kind of do my thing and just let it play, because it works really well as like a soundtrack for gaming. It's just so much fun to listen to. And it's got so many great moments. It's got so many themes that go throughout see, now you really know what it is after I said themes. It's got so many different themes that go throughout all the different tracks, and it's really well thought out. It's by someone in this community, if you know, you know. And this goes to Dean, or as I lovingly refer to them, Diggin, with the album Tema. Top 10. All right, boys, buckle up, sit down. Here we go. We're getting into the nitty gritty of it. These are all amazing albums. A lot of these could be switched out for any of these slots, and they would probably fit just as well in any of these other slots. But my top 3 are definitely top 3, but 4 to 10 could really go anywhere. So the number 10 slot goes to an artist who I checked out this album on my channel, and it kind of blew up. And the lead singer actually reached out to me on Instagram and said, like, hey, I love your video. Let me know if we're ever touring near you. Like, can't wait to check out more of your stuff. And it's so nice to see artists interact with their fans. It's really, really heartwarming. And to get messages like that just means so much to me as a fan of these artists. Like when Viliarta shared my video all over their socials and stuff like that. And like, getting that artist interaction just makes you love this music even more, because you have sort of like a personal connection to them now because of this. And I don't know. I love it so much. And this album has grown on me so much since I first listened to it. This I would probably put it like a 9 or a 9.5 by now. I know I think I gave it a little bit lower on my first reaction, but definitely much higher. This goes to Polaris, Fatalism.
Just a feast for the dust and faded. For the dust and faded. After something ends and always may rise just a gem like flies. And God watches me bleed and multiply. Draw blood, you parasites. Flatline as you pull the splinters from your arrow. Jesus into yourself.
Far away, I pray this letter finds you well and safe. I hope to God I wrote it not too late. You promised us a better tomorrow. I don't know if I believe it this time. There are days we seem to speak in different tones. If you're the air I breathe, then I'm the water in your lungs.
The number 9 pick on this list goes to a band who's been there since the beginning of my metal journey. I first discovered them really early on. They were one of the first 3 bands who I discovered when I first started listening to metal. It was like Fit for a King, Demon Hunter, and this band. And if you kind of know the circle that they associate with, then you probably know what band I'm talking about. But this, I think, is their best release to date. It has so much of what made their other releases great, while moving forward and trying new things and being a little bit experimental in ways that really pay off. And there's some songs on here that are mind-blowingly incredible. And I even wrote a cover of one of these songs that I'm going to be releasing pretty soon once I can get the vocal part sounding good, because I've never recorded vocals before, and it's a little bit wonky, but I'm trying to figure it out. But this is Silent Planet, Super Blue.
Less than 7 seconds till the bastards push the door. Just remember, nothing's real. They can't hurt you anymore. Bullets ricochet under the gun, reaching for the blade. Passing through the walls, bring this down. Silence in the walls. Euphoria in the motion.
The number 8 pick goes to an artist whose album I listened to on stream. And this is in a lot of people's top 10, I'm sure, maybe some people's number 1 even. I haven't listened to it enough for it to climb much higher than number 8, but maybe it would if I had listened to it more. I still love it all the same. It's still an amazing album. It had some awesome moments. When I was listening to this on stream, the chat was hyping me up. I was getting excited. I literally outright cried at one of the tracks. It's gorgeous. You probably know what it is by now. This is Tesseract, War of Being.
The words that I whispered when it all began, did they shine a light on you?
The number 7 pick goes to a very special album that I listened to this year, and it sort of kind of solidified itself as one of my favorite, if not maybe even my favorite prog album of all time in the short time since I've heard it. And I love every second of it. I only love it more on repeat listens. It's beautiful. It's got some great heavy moments. It's got some beautiful, gorgeous, soaring melodies. It's something really special. And it's not from this year, but I had to mention it because it's just perfect. This is The Contortionist Language. The number 6 pick goes to an artist who has not released an album this year, but this album I have to mention because I listened to it so much this year. I discovered it this year due to one of my vocal students. Again, it's another one of those, but I don't know. She recommends banger after banger. This album has stuck with me as probably one of my favorite albums of all time now. I don't know where it'll rank in the grand scheme of things, but it's definitely up there, and it is by far one of the best albums that I've heard this year. I think I'm ranking it a little bit lower, mainly purely just because it's an older album, but I think overall it's super, super solid. Every track is good. There's not a single skip. The lyrical content is amazing. It's very poetic. It's very not straightforward. And it really makes you think about some of these situations that the songs are talking about. This is, of course, Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher.
25 felt like flying. Don't forget it, but please don't hold me to it. And the speed kicks in. I go to the store for nothing. What if I told you I feel like I know you? Baby, it's Halloween, and we can be anything. And if I could give you the moon, but I would give you the moon. No longer a danger to herself or others. She made up her mind and laced up her shoes. Cracked lips, windows down, scream along to some America First rap country song. A slaughterhouse, an outlet mall, slot machines, fear of God. I turned around, there was nothing there. Yeah, I guess the end is here.
Top 5. Here we go. The number 5 pick goes to an album from an artist who I have listened to for a long time. I think I first discovered them in like 2014 when they dropped a single, and I remember kind of being blown away by how heavy music could be when I heard this single. I think it stuck out to me most because you can't really even hear a discernible note until like a minute and a half into the song. I was like, how can music like this be written? And it just kind of floored me. And this album somehow topped all of that in heaviness. It tops everything that they've done before. It is probably the heaviest album ever written, while still being simultaneously beautiful and very listenable still. Maybe not for some people, but for me, yeah, it's still very listenable, even though it's disgustingly heavy. And it just, I don't know, the songs sort of take you on different journeys, and they've got like different parts of each song that are so memorable and so interesting. But this is, of course, you know what it is by now, Humanity's Last Breath, Ashen. The number 4 spot goes to an album that I would not have discovered if it weren't for, again, my vocal student who told me about this artist and this album, and I have fallen in love with this album. This artist has one of the most unique voices I have ever heard. It is so beautiful. It is so light, but so full of emotion. She does this thing with her voice where it sort of like clicks and wavers between different pitches. And it's really like, I can't figure out how she does it. It's so unique. It's so interesting. It's so her. This goes to daughter of J.J. Abrams, Gracie Abrams. Good Riddance. I forgot the name for a second. I had to look.
You're the worst of my crimes. You fell hard. I thought good riddance. I never was the best to you. I never was the best to you. And part of me wants to walk away till you really listen. I hate to look at your face and know that we're feeling different. 'Cause part of me wants you back, but I know it won't work like that, huh? Why won't you try? When you talk, you get shallow. Where I walk, you don't follow. When I scream, you're my echo. Will you cry if I let go? Where did you go, Amelie, Amelie, Amelie? Where'd you go? Or were you all in a dream, Amelie, Amelie? I don't know. Oh, I know spiraling is miserable. I should probably go back home. Why does that feel difficult, difficult? And oh, look now, I'm alone again. I've gotten used to sleeping here without you. Though I've tried, I can't pretend that I don't sit around and think about you. Think the bus might be broken, 'cause the shocks never work. We're collectively hoping that the drive will be short.
All right, here we are. Top 3. These are my favorite albums of the year. These albums have each hit me in different ways emotionally. These have each cemented a place in my heart as just perfect albums. I think these are all perfect 10 out of 10, no misses, amazing, wonderful albums. I can't even put into words how good they are, but let me just start with number 3. I listened to this on stream and I was kind of blown away. I think I was a little bit overwhelmed when I first listened to it, and I didn't really give it as much gushing credit. I still gushed about it, but like, and I still think I said it was like a 10 out of 10, but I only feel like it's gotten better somehow since that first listen. It has one of my favorite songs of all time on it that I'm going to do a cover of at some point. I just don't know when. I just need time to sit down and just write it out and just do it, but I'm 100% gonna do a cover of that one song from this album that you probably will know what it is. If you don't know what the album is by now, you'll know it when I say it. You'll know what song I'm talking about because I talked about it in my my songs video. But this spot goes to Loathe, I Let It In, and It Took Everything. The number 2 spot goes to a very special artist. It's probably a lot of people's number 1. It just barely scrapes by at number 2. Number 1 and number 2, like 1, 2, 3 were all very close for me, but I think this is what I would rank them as, like 3, 2, 1. Just very, very close though. But the number 2 slot, I don't know. This album is something special. This is a once in a lifetime album. It's truly going to shape the future of the metal scene, I think, even though it's not even really metal for the entire runtime. There's like a few metal songs, there's some metal moments on other songs, but it's a lot of just other genres and experimental. And that's, I think, what we need most in metal, is just more experimentation, more blending of genres, and metal can truly become something special, I think, if we embrace that part of it and embrace that change, where you can still have the old stuff, but try some new stuff along with the old stuff. It doesn't hurt. Anyway, this goes to Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden.
Sulfur on your breath, grinding in my chest. I was more than just a body in your passenger seat. You were more than just somebody I was destined to meet. When you sit there, acting like you know me, acting like you only brought me here to get below me. In body language, synapses snap back and rose gold chains, rip lace cut glass, blood stains at the dollar bills. Just don't ask me. The diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night sky. Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from my mind. Those eyes like fire, I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre.
And finally, the number 1 album of the year. I said it was album of the year when I made a video on it, and I still stand by that today. This album is truly something special. While I love all the other albums on this list for different reasons, this one I love the most purely because of the vibes. Purely just because of how I feel when I listen to it, and the mood that it puts me in, and the atmosphere that it gives off, and just I don't know. That's kind of why I have like the stream sort of theme that I have with my stream, where it's like cutesy little animals on like with like fantasy type stuff. Is like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. I'm a sucker for like cottagecore and that kind of thing. And that's what this album is. It's like folksy cottagecore. It's beautiful. I listen to it and I never get tired of it. I think every other song on this list, or every other album on this list, sorry, I think I got tired of or like kind of moved away from, but this is an album that I consistently come back to and I never get tired of, and I could listen to it probably until the end of time and still never get tired of it, because I think it's just so well written and so well done. And this artist even put out another EP after this album this year that's also really, really good. But this album, I think, takes the cake as my favorite album of the year, and my number 1 pick goes to Madeline May, To Exist With You.
bed tonight, we'll make pancakes. I don't wanna live sleeping in the kitchen, singing in the morning. Someday when it's over, what is there to tell? Danny, where you gonna go? Broadway, someday what show you'll put on? And Danny, you don't know. Danny, just how far you'll go. We're here for a good time, not for a long time, but hopefully we don't get hurt. 'Cause I love to exist with you. I do. Oh, I love to exist with you. I do. Make up words, make up letters. Make it worse, make it better again and again. And we'll live on forever on the corner of oblivion.
So that's it. Those are my top 20 albums that I've heard in 2023. I almost said of 2023. A little bit of a difference there. Top 20 albums I heard in the year 2023. Let me know, what are some of your favorites? What are your like top 5 or something, if you can even pick that? Because I had a really hard time picking this. I just kind of threw up a bunch of albums that I liked, narrowed it down to 20, and then tried to rank them. And it was tough, but I did it. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you agree with any of my picks, if you horribly disagree with any of my picks, if you think my music taste is stupid. Let me know. I want to hear all of it. I want to hear everybody's opinions on my opinions, because everyone has opinions about other people's opinions, and that's the fun part of music, is that it's completely objective and nobody is, it's completely subjective and nobody is right or wrong. It's just whatever you happen to like is what you like. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Have a happy new year. I am so looking forward to what 2024 has for me in this channel. Can't wait to do more of what I love. Can't wait to keep sharing my love of music with you and music theory and all that stuff. But have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you all later with more videos in the new year. Have a good night. Love y'all. Peace out. See ya. Goodbye.